November 18, 2011 marks Davis Occupiers' first indefinite occupation at UC Davis Quad. But why occupation? Why are many students setting up tents and barricading themselves on school ground? Why would a liberation movement, one whose goal is to free people from the constraint of debts, low-paying jobs, and regulations that govern us, occupy space on a university, serving one of the main sources of our problems? Wouldn't it be much more logical to dismiss oneself from the university and go our separate ways? I mean, it seems a little bit confusing, doesn't it? That's why we're here to find out. Both Shawn and I got our cameras and our questions and headed out to the campsite of Davis Occupiers.
My name is Muniza Rizvi, and I'm participating in the Occupy UC Davis encampment. What my position is a very interesting one, because I think what's beautiful about the Occupy movements is that there's one position, a participant, a protester. And sure, there are folks doing organizing and stamping out logistical stuff, but what's beautiful is that the people fulfilling those roles, it's pretty fluid.
Yeah. So what do you say? It's like it's more grassroots campaign, and it's eventually trickling up.
What's interesting is that officials or policemen will come to different encampments, because I've been spending time at Occupy Davis in Central Park as well, and they'll ask, who's the leader of this movement? And I wouldn't want to answer that question even if there were, but there's not. I simply don't know how to answer that question, and that's just, it's a new foreign sort of idea, especially to policemen. I wanted to conduct a Know Your Rights workshop with my friend Chuck, because earlier today I was hearing some misinformation being spread. And they will lie. I've been told by a cop while I was on my bike that I was required to have ID. That's not true. Right. That's not true. People were looking out for each other, and someone said, if a cop talks to you and you turn the other way and stop talking to them, you can be arrested. And I think people should know their rights. They should know that they don't have to tell strangers with guns their life story.
Try the fucking minute.
The sooner you come out, we're trying to make this easy for you. We don't want to have to deal with this. If no one wants to be here, just climb out and we'll let you off with a citation.
You come down. I just want to get off of the animal.
No, man, I got a picnic basket up here. You can come up too.
I guess one more question is, how long are you guys planning to occupy the quad? Do you guys have a set date, or?
I think it's indefinite.
Indefinite.
Which is,
unsettling
and exciting at the same time.
That's great.
And if there's one thing you want the public to get from this, what is it?
I think the broader Occupy movement, sure, there are tangible things people are protesting, but I think on a broader, more philosophical level, it's about creating these communities, about people identifying with each other and realizing that while their struggles might be different, they stem from a common root. And that process of identifying with each other, if that's all this accomplishes, then that's enough for me. But I suspect that it's going to do a lot more.
Okay. All right.
Jeanette. I'm a third-year undergraduate here at UC Davis. I'm here because I'm sympathetic with the Occupy Wall Street movement, but at the same time I'm here to remind people that other people who have been in other occupations before, long before this, their voices need to be heard. You are on occupied land. Here in UC Davis, this land was taken away from Native American people, and people need to be reminded of that. Yeah, corporate greed sucks and capitalism sucks, but there have been issues that like we need to fight against it. And we've been fighting for that for a long time. And I'm glad that people are finally like recognizing this at the masses, but you know, there are a lot of more issues at stake that should have been fought for before, but yeah.
So how long has been part of the Occupy movement?
A few weeks.
Yeah, well, I went to Occupy Sacramento and it started at the beginning of, I want to say October, and we went to Occupy San Francisco yesterday, so we've been keeping up with the movement, doing our part.
What do you want the public to get from this movement and the movement as a whole?
Just awareness, because a lot of people aren't really aware of what's going on, especially like coming from SoCal. I sent people like links to what happened at Cal, and like so many people just didn't know that that had happened, or like anything about like the tuition hikes, and just like a lot of the facts that are surrounding the whole Occupy movement, not just necessarily the relation to like school issues, but just kind of spreading the word, because that's the only way anything's really going to happen, if people become aware and mobilize due to that awareness.
My name is Sue Lee, and I'm a UC Davis student. This is my first year as a junior transfer student. My major is statistics. Why am I joining the Occupy movement? Well, in general, I'm against the big corporation hogging all the money that 99% have. But as a Davis student, I am standing up for the future generation who will be affected by the tuition increase, as I'm affected by it right now. Yeah. And I've been in this movement, I mean, I started the Occupy Davis probably a few weeks ago, since I got here, but I practice the non-corporation movement by choice that I make, like food that I buy, voting by proxy pretty much, food that I buy, the stuff that I use, stuff that I talk about, that's all count as the against the corporation, I believe.
My name's Rebecca Lopez. I'm a super senior at UC Davis, and I support the Occupy movement in Davis and everywhere around the world. I'm involved because a year ago this autumn I was homeless. I was a homeless college student trying to study and support myself and live in Wayfair at the same time. And I saw the injustices that happened to people that were homeless, who had no voice, no words, and no way to defend themselves. I saw how poverty and how being homeless was stigmatized. And the Occupy movement unites everybody in this world. Homeless, poor, working class American citizens who are losing their jobs, losing their homes, having houses foreclosed, being poor because the upper 1% is not willing to help us out. I saw how people were being marginalized. My situation, I saw horrible atrocities happen and the problems that we have with social inequality, poverty, drugs, and those issues that are shunned about by the American public. I hope to see more awareness and education about poverty in more ways that we can help people who are lower class, who can't support themselves, who have to always depend on the government for charity, and the government doesn't even help them, doesn't even give them health care, doesn't even try to help them with food stamps, makes it hard on normal citizens to get help. Being poor for the American government, they don't do enough. They really don't. Yeah, you see all this struggle with more people losing their jobs, more people suffering, more people bringing awareness. I hope that the American government does enough for all those people who have been underrepresented and ignored for so many years.
If we were to simply dismiss ourselves from the university, we're simply throwing in the towel. Now I begin to understand why these people found it very important to occupy the university. As one writer once said, the university may seem like it is open at multiple points, allowing the flow of students, teachers, and workers to navigate through freely. However, this is simply a disguise of the university's ulterior motives. If we were to uproot the prom, one can clearly see that the university is indeed a closed environment. Closed to those who make up the majority of this country, the underpaid working class, people of color, and many other underrepresented factors, but opened with welcome arms for the 1%. As a result, we, the 99%, have no choice but to speak their own language. By occupying and closing down the university, to occupy the university, to lock it down against the police, in return, free us from the regulation that governs over us.